everybody, it's Sharon here. Welcome back to my channel for those who are returning, and welcome to any new subscribers that may be visiting for the first time. So I just wanted to finish up some unfinished ephemera, things for the Wonderland journal that I've perhaps been sitting on for a little while, partly because I wasn't really sure what I needed or what I wanted to make out of certain things or what direction I wanted something to go in. So the first thing I wanted to play with are these journaling cards. They are just a collage of scrap pieces of paper that I put together. I think I videoed those and I really wasn't sure how I wanted to finish them. So I've decided it's time, and I'm just trying to get my papers. I've got a little pile of things on my desk. So I have the Medieval Mirage Volume 1 Faded and Frayed papers, and I thought I might have a flip through and see if I could find some backing paper for these journaling cards, because I haven't actually done that yet. I like this one. I like the more muted tones. I'm just sort of looking at them with the papers. And perhaps that one. I do just want to... Oh my gosh, they're so pretty. I'm wondering if I want to get something a little bit different for one of them. They're both fairly similar. My fingers, I've been using sandpaper and my fingers feel like they're all cut up. It doesn't feel very nice. I need a magic formula to pop on my hand, some sort of magic cream that I can put on that'll make my skin feel normal again. It's a horrible feeling. I don't like it at all. I don't want anything that's overly busy, but a little detail would be nice. I'm thinking that one actually. So which of these two would I like? I might go for the more muted, I think. Before I turned the camera on, I was just thinking to myself, now what can I back them with? And I went, oh, I have new papers that I could use. How fun. Oh my gosh, my pile of things is getting bigger and bigger up there. Okay, so there won't be anything groundbreaking or magnificent in this video. I just want to feel like I'm kicking a few goals. So I hope you're all fabulous. I've been painting my little set of shelves. I may have had a little hiccup, and as I've said, I will be sharing more of that with you all in the future, but I kind of had to take a step back to be able to move forward. So without saying too much, because I want to leave it for that video, I got a little excited because I thought I was almost done, and I thought that perhaps, oh, it's a Friday today, I thought perhaps I would have my shelves finished after today, but I wasn't 100% happy with them, and I did think about leaving them. I mean, functionality wise, they would have been fine, and I thought about leaving them as they were, but I went, you know what? I have to look at those and I'm really not 100% happy. So you know what they say, if something's worth doing, it's worth doing well. So I took a step backward, and which effectively means more painting, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that I will be in love with the results after this. So probably won't get it finished now until after the weekend. because I have more layers of painting and lacquering to do. Like I said, I've taken a step backward, but that's okay because in the long run, they're going to be in my craft room and they're going to look gorgeous, and I will get to look at them every day and admire them and know how much work I put into them. I'm super excited to have them in here though. There's some things that are waiting to be reorganized that cannot happen until I bring them in and reshuffle and reorganize. So I'm ready. I'm so ready for that to happen. Okay, so I think I'm just going to pop the glue on these and glue them on. Just looking at it, I was thinking I could get 3 to a page, but I'm not sure I will now, so I may only get 2 to a page. We'll see. I'm excited. I'm excited to get some organization in here once I get my shelves finished. So I've been working really, really hard to try and get that done. It's getting to the point now where I'm so excited. Like, I just cannot wait. They've actually been ready for months now, and I wasn't 100% sure how I wanted to go about finishing them off. And like I said, I've been experimenting, and not all experiments work out, and that's okay. But I am kind of getting to the point where I'm just like, I just want to use them. I did consider actually putting them in my craft space without finishing them properly, which I did with my bookcase. And as much as I love being able to use the bookcase, I wished I'd have finished it before I put it in. So I'm making myself finish this off. Now these are going in all different directions. So I have 2 that are vertical, I have 2 that are horizontal, and I have 2 that are just different shapes and sizes. So I'm going to do, hopefully, oh, I think I'm only going to get 2 on here by the look of that. So I'll need to choose a couple of different, one more different background or backing paper. That's okay. So aside from me working on my shelves, there's not a whole lot else going on here, I'm afraid. Not much to chat about. I have about 1,000 different ideas for journals. And I am super excited to make a start on those. I don't know which one I'll do first. I've started the nature journal, which I did the cover and chose the papers on video, which will be shared with you before this video goes up. But moving forward, I'm not sure which one I want to tackle first. I don't know. I have choices. I have, well, probably too many choices for one person, but I'm excited. Oh, and then Andrea from Artie Mays and Tracy Fox from Love Jug Journals have just released their new digital kits, which are gorgeous, and they've I'm tripping on my words. They've released them as a collaboration, so one of them has half a kit and the other has the other half, so the 2 kits form the whole. And oh my gosh, they just look like so much fun. I've been watching a couple of their videos where they've been either sharing them or using them, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, another project. Stop. Oh. And I've been watching Gayle Agostinelli's Mixed Media Mayhem. Mixed Media May videos. Super inspiring. I've been playing with a little mixed media behind the scenes, and I had a couple of ideas of little projects that I wanted to try myself. So I actually had an idea of some backgrounds that I wanted to make, which I've been thinking about again today. So I don't know whether to do them on video. I'm not really sure that anybody's interested in that, but I'm also not sure whether you will see this video before I decide to play. My old craft space, which we've talked about before, is still kind of set up that I could use as a craft area. And I'm thinking it would make a really great wet area for mixed media type projects. The room I'm in now, I have a carpeted floor, which I kind of love, especially in winter. The other room has a vinyl floor, which was fabulous for doing things like mixed media because I wasn't worried about spilling or splatting or anything like that. And I said to hubby I was thinking about setting that space up and using that still for some mixed media projects. I've actually got my shelves in there at the moment that I've been painting, so they are taking up the desk space that's in there. And the more time I spend out there doing that, the more time I think how fabulous it would be to set that space up for mixed media and be able to just duck out there and play to my little heart's content. So unfortunately it means I need to get some shelving in there, which isn't necessarily in my budget at the moment, but we'll see. I live in hope. I really love that. Actually, with the white background, that could be really fun. It's still, what do I just want plain? I like both. I think I'll just go with the plain one actually. Yeah, it's not really in my budget at the moment, so that area is kind of on hold because my floor space in there has been taken up with supplies for my crafting that I haven't got storage in here for, which is all fabulous and fun, don't get me wrong, but I'm just like, some nice big shelves in there would be fabulous. It would move things off the floor and off my desk that are sitting on my desk at the moment that probably shouldn't be taking up space there. And then hopefully I'll be able to use that space for some mixed media play, either on or off camera. I haven't decided, but I did think to myself it would be a great space to be able to go to on the weekend when perhaps I have projects on the go in here that I've been videoing and I haven't necessarily packed up. That's my problem at the moment, is being in the middle of something and I get to the weekend, and as I've mentioned before, hubby is home and I don't like to video when he's home, but I still want to craft, and so I find myself needing to pack up what I've been doing on camera to be able to do something off camera, and then vice versa, having to pack that up at the end of the weekend ready to video when he's not home. And it would be great to have a space where I could have my mixed media stuff out and play to my heart's content and walk away and close the door and then go back to it whenever I want without having to shift everything around. So, whoop, and hubby is home. I can hear him. I wasn't expecting him home just yet. So it will happen. It won't happen overnight, as they say, but it will happen. And I am really looking forward to when it does happen because I have so many plans. Okay, and one more. And see, hubby arrives home and I get all distracted and then I stop chatting. Yeah, so that's where that's at. It is Friday here. I'm just sort of thinking, oh, hubby's home and it's Friday, and if I don't finish the video now, that means again I'm stopping in the middle of something and walking away, which takes me back to what I was just talking about. And he's really sweet. He often says, you know, do you need me to go out and do something so that you can video? And I'm just like, I don't want to kick you out of your own home. That's not what I'm wanting to do, but okay, so I'm just going to carefully tear this away. This probably works in my favour, having him come home anyway, because I was just thinking I want to sew around these and I want the glue to dry before I do that. So okay, you're not working very well. I may have to cut you. And I'm just looking, I have an uneven edge here, so I'm just going to tidy that up. Fun little scrap left over. Okay, I'm back again. I have finished cutting out all of my backing papers and I've inked around the edges and I have sewn around them all. And for focal points, I've decided to use this stamped calico. I did these stamped images quite some time ago and I've got a little pile of them in my stash. So I've picked out some of those and I have some tea-stained cheesecloth here. And I thought I might just, it's a much darker stain than I usually do, so I just thought I would cut some out and see if I like that behind these images. Oops, just to soften it, I thought. I really did struggle with these journaling cards as to how to finish them off, and I actually really love the stamped images on there. So okay, I can still smell, this is a tea and coffee stain mix and I can still smell the coffee in there. Smells so good. I think I have a double thickness. I'm just trying to separate the two. Oh yep, there we go. Perfect. Do like that. And I'm actually thinking of sewing them down. I may add a little bit of glue, I think, just to hold them in place, but it will give me stitching on the back, but because of the size of it, I thought that could be a really fun way to break up the journaling areas in on the back of the page. So I think I will do that. I'm going to add some glue. My glue is getting low. I don't know if it's getting low or if I have a blockage in there. Need to fill that up, I think. Okay, I really love that, and I'm just going to sew around the outside, probably with a straight stitch. I was thinking a zigzag, but I will be cutting it very fine here, so maybe a straight stitch around, and actually that won't add as much it won't take away as much of the backing paper if I use a straight stitch, so I think I'll straight stitch those on. Might pop the butterfly going that way because it's opposite to this one. That's a little bit better. I must have had a blockage in there. Oops. Okay, two done. Or almost done. I just have to sew around them. Oops. Just controlling a little bit of the overhang because these will go in pockets, or I hope they will go in pockets. I haven't exactly worked out where I want to put these, so and if for some reason they don't fit in this journal, I will set them aside and use them in a different journal. He kind of looks like he's landing to me, so I feel like he needs to go that way. I guess if whoever owns the journal decides that they want him to fly, they can turn the card around. It's kind of non-directional, so that's awesome. Okay. I was a little bit worried this cheesecloth would be too dark for my liking, but I actually don't mind it. It is darker than what I'm used to. Oops. Kind of used to the glue just flowing out, but it doesn't seem to be doing that today. Okay. think I might save that piece and get a different one. Most of the others I haven't really put on straight, but I think I might put this one on straight. I really need to fill this glue bottle up. Okay, so they're all ready to sew around. I'll do that off camera. Just want to pull that. That's better. Gosh, they're pretty. Love them. I actually really love the simplicity of, oops, got two. Love the simplicity of them. I guess the detail is in the backgrounds in this instance rather than the embellishments. So I will sew those off camera. Now, whoops, I have here some, they're actually manila folders that I'd actually scored that one in the wrong place. So they were kind of scraps that I had, and I'd used my scraps to just collage over the top. I think I'd like to use these to create some tags for my journal. And I'm thinking I'd like them 3 by 6 inches is what I worked out. So I'm going to cut 3 inches this way. Now I think I'll cut that strip off as is. It will make a fun bookmark. Just lining up my blade with the fold line that I have there. So that's a good size bookmark. I may even cut that in half and do small tags with that actually. Oops. So 3, my guillotine, my little paper trimmer isn't cutting the easiest at the moment. And this is quite thick, so that looks like it might be 3 as well. So it is. Fabulous. Okay, and I do have a rounded corner there, so I may use the top of this one. So trimming this at 6 inches. to go that way. Cut the other way around. Fabulous. And then this one I might do 2 more out of this. So cutting at 3. One more. Okay, and I'll just work out how tall this is. So it's roughly not quite 9, so I'm going to cut that at about 4.5, just under 4.5. Perfect. Okay, so I have some fun little embellishments here. I'm going to cut these into tag shapes, I think. Okay, so I'm just going to use that now as a guide to do my others. I've missed these scissors. I've been fussy cutting, and so they've been with my fussy cutting things, and the last couple of times I've come into my craft room they haven't been at my desk, and I've really missed using them. I love these scissors. Okay, 2 more. It was just like, I didn't actually check that one to make sure it was the right way up. Thank goodness it is. Okay, so that is those tags cut, and I was thinking I might cut these into tags as well. Just itty bitty ones. And again, using my first as a guide to do my second. And done. Okay. And so these little ones, I think I might just round the corners on these and use these as little journaling cards. Well, that corner was a little bit difficult. Okay. Now I have some inking. I'm trying to decide whether I'd like to sew around these. I feel like I would, just for that little extra detail, and I also feel like because they're curled a little bit, it might help slightly with that, as I'm not backing them. So this one here has a rounded bottom, so I might just do that on both sides. He dares to be different. I'm going to change this over. Have a newbie. I just creased my paper when I was brushing off all of the bits that had left behind. Sorry, it appears I'm not very talkative. I'm trying to decide how I want to embellish these, and I'm drawing a blank. I'm not really sure what I want to do. So these, I may put those to the side. We need to remove that. Now they're going into pockets, so again, I don't want anything too bulky. I'm actually thinking I might like to make a fabric snippet. So not really what I had intended to do now, but if that's what's needed, that's what's needed. Oops. I feel like because it's a paper collage in the background, I don't really want any more paper. I'm thinking I might need a couple of these, so sorry for the noise. Okay, so just some masking tape, and I've just popped it onto my baking paper, which is like a, what do you call it, a wax paper or a greaseproof, like a, yeah, a wax paper, I suppose. Now, I have my fabric scraps here. Again, I need to pop them into something I can look through a little bit easier. And must have something on my scissors. They're not wanting to cut in that particular spot. Just going to pop these down where I think I'd like them. I think I'd like to, it's got a rounded curve to it, so I'm just removing that. Just looking for some calico scraps. I know you find that surprising. Just looking for my happy place. And I have a factory edge, so I'm going to remove that. Let's remove the factory edge, and then I don't have to do each individual piece. That makes more sense. So these are just scraps that I have. Nothing set in concrete at this stage. I'm really just laying them out. Just seeing what I have. As much as it looks like I have a lot of scraps in here, I do I don't think I want to use that. A lot of the scraps I have in here are very small, which I'm thinking I kind of need to filter through now. Take that edge off. Hoping I have more of that in here. Looking through this, I think most of it's calico. I need to make some beads, I think, so I can use up these little scraps. This is a fun piece. It's a little bit of a marking on that bit, so I'm, whoops, need to be careful where I hold them. Okay, I have no idea how that was sitting, so I'll make it up. I think I may need to get my glue out and start gluing. Okay, let's do that. So I'm just going to use my fabric glue. And I'm not overly concerned about it being perfect because I'm going to sew it that way, I think. Helps if you have it up the right way. Didn't realize I'd closed it. Thinking I probably should have started gluing as I started, but never mind. For some reason I wasn't ready. Oh my goodness. Okay, this was much easier when I just laid the glue down on my masking tape before I started popping things on. So note to self, don't do it like this again. Just removing some of my stringy bits. Okay, let's see if I can fix this top one as well. Didn't really want the glue seeping through, so I'll probably have to cover that. Perhaps with a piece of this. That works. Okay, this is definitely less messy with the double-sided tape, but I mentioned in my previous video when I did my other snippet that my sewing machine does not cope with the double-sided tape at all. So I find this much better for my sewing machine, so I can pop it through there when I'm done. And it's a little bit messy, but it is totally worth it. Well, I think so anyway. A little bit of glue on there. Okay, so this is a misshapen scrap. I've got some sewing marks in here because this was folded over and sewn as a hem, but I'm okay with that. It is a rubber-backed curtain fabric, so it's a little bit on the thicker side. This fabric frays a lot, so I'm just going to pop some pieces over the top, I think, of what's already there, and that will get sewn in when I sew it. So looking to see if there's any spots I need to fill in. So I'm just popping a couple of pieces of this lace over the sheer fabric that I have down. You can kind of see the masking tape underneath, and I know that that will also be partially covered once I sew. Perhaps at the end. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to leave that to dry for a little bit, and I might have a quick cuppa and then I will head back to finish it off. I don't know that I will video when I finish. I'm going to pick it up and probably attach it to some calico strip. So something like, oops, not that. Where did I go? Something similar to this, maybe a little bit wider. And I'm going to pop that down, sit this over the top and stitch it together. So I will see you soon, everybody.